Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. Global News reports that Canadian Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc has affirmed Canada's readiness to swiftly conclude negotiations for the Canada-U.S.-Mexico Agreement, CUSMA, renewal, stating that Canada certainly won't be the source of any delay. LeBlanc acknowledged U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer's comments, made both publicly and privately, that all issues surrounding the trade pact are unlikely to be resolved by the unofficial July 1 deadline. However, LeBlanc emphasized this date is not a drop-dead date, and Canada is prepared to move quickly, having submitted proposals and maintained constructive high-level discussions, including a positive call with U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. While the U.S. is required to notify its CUSMA plans by July with options for renewal, withdrawal, or annual reviews, Canada is pushing for a comprehensive agreement. This deal must address outstanding CUSMA issues and provide relief for Canadian sectors impacted by tariffs, such as steel, aluminum, autos, and lumber. LeBlanc reiterated that the contentious issue of supply management will not be part of the CUSMA negotiations. Global News reports that confidence is declining within Canada's energy industry regarding a new oil pipeline being designated a national priority for a swift federal review. A recent survey by ATB Cormark Capital Markets, conducted between March 18th and April 1, found that only 46% of executives and investors believed it was probable or highly probable such a project would receive national interest status under federal legislation. This marks a decrease from 52% in a similar survey from late 2025. This sentiment persists despite a paradoxical rise in optimism, with 48% now believing the Liberal government, led by Prime Minister Mark Carney, will actively work to expand the energy sector. Executives voiced frustration over a lack of tangible project progress, with one noting, "Not one project in oil and gas has come to fruition." The proposed West Coast pipeline, intended to ship up to 1 million barrels daily to Asia, is part of a larger energy accord between Alberta and Ottawa, contingent on carbon capture projects and higher carbon prices. Terms that remained unresolved when the survey concluded. Survey respondents showed more optimism for the revival of parts of the defunct Keystone XL North-South pipeline, which has industry interest compared to a new East-West pipeline that currently lacks private sector company backing. However, overall business outlook remains positive due to strong crude prices. City News Everywhere reports that the BC government is allocating an additional $2.5 million to emergency support services in preparation for what is expected to be a busy wildfire season. Minister of Emergency Management and Climate Readiness Kelly Green announced this funding will support 54 projects across 88 communities, including Dizwada-NUSW First Nation, the District of Wells Tualatin Nation, Dees River First Nation, and Golden. The investment aims to enhance community preparedness by recruiting and training volunteers, and providing essential equipment and supplies for reception centers and group lodging for evacuees. Experts warn that this year will be a critical litmus test for a new reality in Canada's wildfire seasons. Driven by human-caused climate change, much of Canada faces abnormally dry conditions, with long-range forecasts indicating hotter than normal temperatures and an expected El Niño this summer. As of Thursday morning, 4 active wildfires were reported in the province. Global News reports that tunneling has officially commenced for the Ontario Line subway project in Toronto. Premier Doug Ford and Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow attended a ceremony at Exhibition Place, the southern terminus, to mark the occasion. The 16-kilometer line is designed to alleviate congestion on the city's existing Yonge University subway line aiming to cut commuter travel times by 40 minutes. Despite initially being announced in 2019, with a projected opening by 2027 and a $10.9 billion price tag, the project's cost has significantly increased to over $27 billion, including operating costs, and its official opening date has been removed. The twin tunnel boring machines will dig as deep as 40 meters beneath the surface for the southern section, with other parts of the line featuring integrated GO train connections and an elevated section towards the northern hub at Don Mills in Eglinton. Construction is expected to conclude in the early 2030s. The Canadian press reports that North America's first electrochemical lithium refining facility, operated by Mangrove Lithium, has officially opened in Delta, British Columbia. This pioneering plant is a significant development in Canada's efforts to establish a robust domestic lithium supply chain and decrease its dependence on China, which currently refines the majority of the world's lithium, including much of Canada's output. Lithium is designated as a critical mineral by the federal government due to its vital role in electric vehicle batteries, electronics, and grid storage. Mangrove Lithium's facility employs a proprietary electrochemical refining technology, which is touted as a more sustainable alternative to traditional chemical-intensive processes. This method eliminates harsh chemicals and reduces waste byproducts. The Delta plant currently has the capacity to produce battery-grade lithium sufficient for approximately 25,000 electric vehicles annually, with plans for a larger facility in eastern Canada capable of supplying 500,000 EVs per year. While this initiative strengthens Canada's supply chain resiliency, experts note it also raises important questions about future mining approvals and engagement with Indigenous rights. Both federal and provincial governments have expressed support for this venture. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.